Hello friends, and welcome to a Metroidvania map announcement video. I don't tend to start these off with a little bit of gameplay, but I wanted to show you the in-game map for Possessors. Here it is, in all of its glory. It does that slightly annoying thing where there are certain parts of the room that you can't reach, so the fog of war stays there, but that's nothing to cry about too hard. This is the map for Possessors, and it's fine. That's about as much as I will say for it. It's fine. You got a choice of 3 custom markers, none of which are particularly great for whatever purpose you might attach to them, but it's fine. It shows you where you are, it shows the fast travel points, it shows the save points, it shows the merchants, and that's about it. It shows you roughly how the zones connect and so on and so forth, but realistically, it's a barely passable map. And I found whilst I was playing the game that I was really struggling to orient myself, because some of these rooms, they're not just big rectangular blocks in game. There are passages, there are walls, there are doors. It's much more difficult to navigate a lot of these rooms than the in-game map would suggest. So, let's take a look at my map. Here we go. This is my map for the game, and I've set it up so that we're just about in the same place, so that if I do this, switching back and forth, you can see that there's a fairly substantial difference between what I have done and what the game presents. For example, just taking a look at these areas here in the park, you can see that the shape of the room is much closer, the rocks in the centre formation are much clearer and, well, existing, which they're not in the original version, and so on and so forth. So, I'm not going to talk too much about how I put this map together, but if you are interested in, well, where did you get these detailed maps from, Demajen? Surely you didn't make these by yourself. It's like, no, I did not. I did some heavy work on them, but I didn't make them. If you'd be interested in learning about that, let me know in the comments down below, and maybe I'll throw a video together about it. Let's talk about the map. This is a detailed map of the game with everything on that you could realistically want. Yes, it's got all the save points on, it's got everything that the in-game map has on, but it's also got all of the normal things that you'd expect on a map from me. I went a bit daft with this one, not really realising when I started how big the game was or how much time this would take. So all of the grapple points are marked on the map, and there's hundreds of them. All of the little currency crates are marked on the map, and again, there's hundreds of them, because I had no idea that the game was going to be as big as it is. And it's not huge in the sense, it's not going to be like a 50+ hour Hollow Knight / Silksong epic or anything like that. It's going to take you probably 15 hours, maybe 20 hours to get through, depending on how far you want to go with the completion's sake. But yeah, so we've got bodies of water on there, we've got all key items, we've got quest items, we've got collectibles, we have got locked doors, how to get through locked doors, all blockages, we have got all of the different challenge lock-in rooms, of which there are dozens and dozens in this game, so if that is a thing that you don't like, yeah, you're going to struggle with this one. All shops, vendors with inventories are also on here. It is one of the more detailed maps that I've put together, realistically, and I did it purely because I thought the in-game map just wasn't good enough for the kind of complexity that we're looking at here. The thing is that these maps that you're looking at are altered versions of maps that are actually in the files but unused. As I said, I'd talk about that in another video if you're interested in it. But it's like, I just want you to be clear that these already exist. They're inverted. So what I've got as colour here for the play space is actually blank, and the walls are the solid colour. So it's got that Shadow Labyrinth style issue, which I know a lot of people didn't like. So I've tried to fix it for this. But ultimately, I spent a lot of time just trying to get this to be a nice, readable map. With a couple of caveats. As of recording this, which is the 16th of November 2025, this is not a 100% map. And it's not a 100% map for a couple of reasons. First of all, because there is no, at time of recording, percentage counter in-game. Either for the game as a whole, or for the individual zones. I would really like to see that patched in, because right now, I know that I am missing things, but I have no idea which zone to look in. And this is a game with somewhat limited fast travel points that takes quite a while to get around, even with the sprint function in-game. So there's no percentage counter, so I cannot check. All I can go off is the achievements, and there are a few achievements that haven't popped. The trouble is, I don't know if they haven't popped because I haven't got all the things, or if they haven't popped because something is bugged. I don't know. There are a lot of collectible bits and pieces, and I've numbered them all. I spent a load of time numbering them all because I was trying to figure out, well, how many of these things have I actually found? And I found a lot, and that's all documented in the Google Drive if you want to go and check that out. There are also lobsters. I don't know why there are lobsters, but there are lobsters all over the map. I have found 20 of them. There is an achievement for finding all of the lobsters. The achievement hasn't popped for me, so I'm assuming that there are more than 20 lobsters, or the achievement is bugged. I don't know which, and until I find out which, I can't claim this will be a 100% map, regardless of what the thumbnail for the video will say, because I'm too lazy to alter my thumbnails. So yeah, don't go into this one right now thinking, oh yeah, I need to know what all the lobsters are. Demajen will know. Demajen doesn't know. If you find any lobsters that aren't on this map, do please let me know. In fact, if you find anything that isn't on this map, or any of my maps, realistically, do please let me know. I don't get frustrated or annoyed, except with myself if I realise I've missed something. Do please let me know, either down in the comments, or you can email me at demajen@gmail.com, or you can get in touch with me via my coffee.com page, or in one of the many Discords that I frequent. All of that will be super useful. The question then is, well, why are you releasing this now if it's not finished? Because I've seen so many people struggling. You know, I've been in a handful of Discords that say, yeah, we kind of like the game, but we're really struggling to find our way around it because the map's not very good, and so on and so forth. I thought, well, I've got this, even though it's not quite done. You can complete the game with this. You can complete most of, if not all of, the side quests with this. There are just a few collectibles and a couple of trophies that you can't get with this yet, but maybe if you're watching this in the future and we hear back from the devs on any of the things that people have been posting about in the forums, maybe it will all be finished by then. And if that is the case, then, you know, I'll change the title of the video and make it clear in the description. So how do you get your hands on this? Usual rules apply. You can go to demajen.co.uk and you can click on the... I've got mine sorted by latest. Yours might be defaulted to A to Z. It's entirely up to you, it'll remember. You can click on Possessors, and if you click here, it will take you through to the Possessors folder, where you can get a free copy of the map. It's work in progress. It's low. It's not as high resolution as you might get elsewhere, but it is what it is. Changelog and a very basic walkthrough of the game, or you can go to my coffee.com store and get the absolute best quality version of the map if you want to support me and the 40-ish hours that it took me to put that together. Plus, of course, you can browse all of the other maps that I've done, including checking out all of the maps that I have done this year so far, because there are, of course, other games coming out this year that I'm probably going to have a little bit of a play with. So there we go. That is the Possessors map. If you don't want to support me financially, that is absolutely fine. You know, it's there as an option. You just won't get the absolute biggest resolution of the map, which is what this is, nice and clear and, you know, lossless. But you'll still get a fairly decent sized version of the map, just at a slightly lower quality, so that you can actually open it in the Google Drive, because Google's weird when it comes to that kind of stuff. But as always, any support, financial or otherwise, that you can give me during this period of chronic long-term illness is very, very appreciated. So there we go. Possessors, a game that I personally would recommend playing on easy, not normal, unless you really, really like spongy enemies. I don't want to say too many things about my thoughts on the game. That's all available over on my website as well, if you're really interested in that. I've got very mixed thoughts on it, but my biggest issue was the map that I've created is far, far better. And I don't normally say this so blatantly, but my map, based on the map that the devs created for themselves but didn't use, this map is far better than the one in the game. And until they can sort out a lot of the map and quality of life issues in Possessors, it's not going to score very highly for me. And I think it's going to be problematic for a lot of people that really want to like it, especially based on the devs' previous pedigree, but just can't find their way around or get into it because of the map. There were other issues as well, but this was the main one. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you as always for the support. I'll catch you all in the next map video. Cheerio. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.